the prophecy about the coming war against Israel is written in Ezekiel 38 and 39 and Psalms 83. We read Ezekiel 38. And the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, This saith Yahuwah Elohim, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back, and put hooks into thy jaws, and I bring thee forth, and all time thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them, clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, with them, all of them, with shield and helmet. Gomer and all these bands, the house of Tokama and the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. After many days thou shalt be visited in the latter days, thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safety, all of them. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. Thus says Yahuwah Elohim, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unveiled villages, I will go to them that are addressed, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, and having neither bears nor gates, to take a spoil and take a prey, and turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwell in the midst of the land. Sheba and Datan and the Mashtans of Tarshish, and with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, Art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a good spoil? Therefore, Son of man, prophesy and say unto Gog, This says Yahuwah Elohim, In that day when my people of Israel dwell safety, shalt thou not know it? And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, all of them riding up upon horses, a great company and a mighty army. And thou shalt come against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land, and it shall be in the latter days, and I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me, when I shall be sanctified in thee, O Gog, before their eyes. Thus said the Yahuwah Elohim, Art thou he of whom I have spoken in the old times by my servants the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years that I would bring thee against them? And it shall come to pass at the same time, when Gog shall come against the land of Israel, this says Yahuwah Elohim, that my fury shall come up in my face, for in my jealousy and in fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel, so that the fishes of the sea and the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the field and all creeping things that creep upon the earth and all the men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake at my presence, and the mountain shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every vale shall fall to the ground, and I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, says Yahuwah Elohim. Every man's sword shall be against his brother, and I plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his hand, and upon the many people that are with him, an overflowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstone. This will I magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah. Therefore thou, son of man, prophesy against Gog, and say, this says Yahuwah Elohim, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back, and leave but the sixth part of thee, and will cause thee to come up from the north parts, and will bring thee upon the mountains of Israel, and I will smite thee both out in thy left hand, and I will cause thine arrows to fall out of thy right hand. Thou shalt fall upon the mountain of Israel, thou and all thy bands, and the people that is with thee. I will give thee unto the ravens birds of every sort, and to the beasts of the field to be devoured. Thou shalt fall upon the open fields, for I have spoken it, says Yahuwah Elohim, and I will send a fire on Magog, and among them that dwell carelessly in the isles, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah, and so will I make my whole name known in the midst of my people Israel, and I will not let them pull out my holy name any more. And the heathen shall know that I am Yahuwah, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, it is come, and it is done, says Yahuwah Elohim. This is the day whereof I have spoken. And they shall dwell in the cities of Israel, and shall go forth, and shall set on fire and burn the weapons, both the shields and the bucklers, and bows and the arrows, and the handstaffs and the spears, and they shall burn them with fire 7 years, so that they shall take no wood out of the field, neither cut down any out of the forest. They shall burn the weapons with fire, and they shall spoil those that spoil them, and rob those that rob them, says Yahuwah Elohim. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will give unto Gog a place there of graves in Israel, the valley of the passengers on the east of the sea, and it shall stop the noses of the passengers, and there shall they bury Gog and all his multitude, and they shall call it the valley of Gog. And 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them, that they may cleanse the land. Yea, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renowned the day that I shall be glorified, says Yahuwah Elohim. And they shall sever out men of continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it. After the end of the 7th month shall they search. And the passengers that pass through the land, when any sets a man's bones, they shall set up a sign by it, till the buriers have buried it in the valley of Hamon-Gog. And also the name of the city shall bear Hamona. Thus says, shall they cleanse the land. Thou, son of man, this says Yahuwah Elohim, speak unto every feathered fowl and every beast of the field, assemble yourselves, come, gather yourself on every side to my sacrifice, that I do sacrifice for you, even a great sacrifice upon the mountain of Israel, that ye may eat flesh and drink blood. Ye shall eat the flesh of the mighty and drink the blood of the princes of the earth, the rams and the lambs and the goats of bullock, and all of them fatling of Bashan. And ye shall eat fat till ye be full, and drink blood till ye be drunken of my sacrifice, which I have sacrificed for you. Thus ye shall be filled at my table, with horses and chariots, with mighty men, and with all men of war, says Yahuwah. And I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed, and my hand that I have laid upon them. So the house of Israel shall know that I am Yahuwah their Elohim from that day and forward, and the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for the iniquity, because they have trespassed me against me. Therefore hid I my face from them, and gave them into the hand of their enemies. So fell they all by the sword, according to their uncleanness and according to their transgressions have I done unto them, and hid my face from them. Therefore thus says Yahuwah Elohim, now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob, and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will be the jealousy for my holy name. After that they have borne the shame and all the transgressions whereby they have trespassed against me, when they dwelt safely in the land, and none made them afraid. When I have brought them again from the people, and gathered them out of their enemies' lands, I am sanctified in them in the sight of many nations, then shall they know that I am Yahuwah the Elohim, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen. But I have gathered them into their own land, and have left none of them any more there. Neither will I hid my face any more from them, for I have poured out my spirit upon the house of Israel, says the Yahuwah Elohim. And then Psalms 83. Keep not thou silence, O Elohim, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Elohim. For lo, thine enemies make a remolt, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are feared against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab and Haganah, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have opened the children of Lot, Selah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to the Sisera, and to the Joabin at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make the nobles like Oreb and like Zeeb, yea, all the princes of Zabab, and all Temonah, who says, let us take ourselves the house of Elohim in possession. O my Elohim, make them like a wheel, as the stumble before the wind, as the fire burned a wood, and as a flame set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek the name of Yahuwah. Let them be confounded and troubled forever, yet let them be put to shame and perish. That man may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahuwah, art the Most High over all the earth.